my God! Why can we not get an away point in 2018? Oh my days! Oh, United are so freaking lucky all the time. Not even freaking lucky, fucking lucky. United are so jammy, right? I don't think Arsenal should have won the game, but we shouldn't have lost. Like, we should have got our point, right? Considering that it's our second team, that is an inexperienced side, like, fuck, it just... Why? And in, like, the 91st minute do we concede? It's just... It's absolutely, like... just crazy. I don't understand. You know, it's our second team. I expected us to get absolutely battered, and I understood why Arsene Wenger went with a second team, considering that we've got an absolutely, you know, crucial game in the Europa League on Thursday night. But, you know, we performed so well against Manchester United, you know, their strongest side against our second team, and we caused them problems, and, you know, defensively we played very, very well. And then, you know, Fellaini comes on, does fuck all into the 91st minute when a cross goes in, he wins the header, and just... dearie me. Welcome back to Allies and Arsenal. I have actually got a match review out today. I got back in time to watch the game at my setup. So these are my thoughts and feelings to the game in the Premier League at Old Trafford as Manchester United face Arsenal. Now, obviously, I did a preview yesterday, which you can check out. I'll leave a link to it down in the description below. And, you know, this game was all about sentimental value. You know, our Premier League season is over. We're not going to finish below Burnley. I'm pretty sure we're not going to finish below Burnley. We've still got, I think, we've got a game in hand on Burnley, and we're 3 points clear of them. And we've got Burnley in our next Premier League encounter. You know, and we're not going to finish any higher than 6th place. You know, Chelsea have probably secured 5th place. They might even sneak into the Champions League. So, you know, there's nothing to play for, really. And also, what I was meant to say to my preview yesterday, that if for some weird reason we finish in 7th. Now, I don't know, if you finish in 7th, does that mean that you miss out on Europa League football? In an ideal world, if we don't win the Europa League, I take that, you know, because it means that we have a season just to focus on our Premier League campaign, get back into the Champions League, maybe even compete for the title, depending on what kind of manager that we bring in and what kind of signings that we acquire. But, you know, not being in the Europa League actually could be, you know, a good thing for us next season. The problem with that is that if you have no European football whatsoever, will that, you know, attract a different kind of manager, and will that attract the key players that we need to, you know, strengthen key areas of the team? But, you know, it was a sentimental game. You know, Arsene Wenger's final game at Old Trafford, you know, his final encounter against Jose Mourinho, and Alexis Sanchez's return to face Arsenal for the first time since leaving the Gunners in January. So there's a lot of sentimental value riding on it, and, you know, just before I get into the match, you know, respect to Manchester United, to Jose Mourinho, to Alex Ferguson, you know, and the Manchester United fans who, despite, you know, goading Arsene Wenger throughout the game, and that is to be expected, you know, I totally respect the Manchester United fans. Arsene Wenger came out and they gave him a standing ovation. You know, Jose Mourinho gave Arsene Wenger, it almost was a hug. He's never done that before. And, you know, Sir Alex Ferguson and Arsene Wenger reunited, they had a hug. Sir Alex Ferguson gave Arsene Wenger like a memorabilia that was, you know, I think Manchester United set up. And it was, you know, all Manchester United wanted to do was to, you know, showcase and give an achievement to Arsene Wenger, you know, giving him something to symbolise the, you know, what he's done for Arsenal Football Club, incidentally. And what they gave him was a, you know, recognisable piece of achievement to say thank you for what you've done for the, you know, English game. And like I said in my previous yesterday, Arsene Wenger, you know, definitely helped Manchester United kick on to later gears because of how fierce the rivalry was between the two sides. However, and also what I said in my preview, I said, does Arsene Wenger go with a full strength side, you know, and get that full strength side, getting some, you know, motivation, you know, getting the 90 minutes under their belt, getting them some confidence, you know, taken into that crucial away tie at Atletico Madrid, you know, get a couple of training sessions under your belt and go from there? Or do we go with an inexperienced, you know, youthful side because of the fact that we've got that crucial game against Atletico Madrid, and if we're going to get the result that we need to get, then we have to have all of our starting 11 at 110% and be at the highest level and at their strongest and fittest, you know, level that they can potentially be at. And, you know, you've also got the added kind of pressure that you could have an injury to one of your key men, just like we saw with Sead Kolasinac. Had that been Alexandre Lacazette, we'd be in trouble. So, you know, you're risking losing one of your key players from an absolute make or break match that is, like, season defining. You know, if we go out to Atletico on Thursday night, our season is officially done, where our Premier League campaign is already officially done. So, I understood it, and I could see why Arsene Wenger went with a youthful side. You had, Pierre-Emerick Mkhitaryan, I call him Miki, that's why I call him, tip of the tongue, I call him Miki. But, to be fair, I actually thought Mkhitaryan was injured. I thought he was still injured. I didn't know that he was, back to full fitness, but he started and faced Manchester United for the first time since leaving them in January. So, we had Mkhitaryan, Aubameyang, you had Bellerin, you had, and Xhaka. Probably those are the only four that maybe will start. Said Klassen actually went off with an injury, and it was worrying because it was a very youthful side, and everyone was saying that it was because it was the most youthful side that Arsenal have put out since they lost 8-2 to Manchester United at Old Trafford in 2012. And there was that feeling in the air that if United kick into gear, particularly as they fielded their strongest side, Pogba, Lukaku, Alexis Sanchez, Jesse Lingard, they had a very, very strong defensive unit as well. So basically, they're putting out their strongest side, Arsenal putting out a weakened team and their second choice side. There is a definite feeling, and there's proof in the pudding of what we saw in earlier seasons, that Arsenal going to Manchester United with a weakened side results in Manchester United giving us the absolute sausage. We get dicked on by Manchester United, but we normally get dicked on by Manchester United anyway, even fielding our strongest side, so we had nothing to lose. And as the game kind of kicked off, it was, I think all throughout the game we defended reasonably well. There was a really stupid moment where Granit Xhaka gave the ball back to Manchester United. It then went out to the right hand side of Lukaku. He pitched the ball in. It went over to Alexis Sanchez who hit the post, and I was sitting there thinking to myself, Alexis Sanchez is going to score today. Whatever happens, Alexis Sanchez is going to score today. And thankfully he didn't, but he hit the post. It fell back to Pogba on the rebound, and it was a goal that we just shouldn't have conceded. It was very, very avoidable. And it was just, Granit Xhaka, who was our club captain, giving the ball away in a sloppy area, which we've seen countless times. Granit Xhaka is so inconsistent, and he makes countless mistakes. And, sometimes, I see more bad games of Granit Xhaka than good games. On his day, Granit Xhaka can play at a very, very good level. He's got that nastiness, he's got that edginess, and he's that type of player that, if there's a fight, he'll have a fight. But he doesn't have that silver lining. He doesn't know where the line in the sand is, and he always, goes overboard, and he always gets fucking booked time and time again. He made a stupid mistake. It came out to Lukaku on the right hand side, fizzed in, Sanchez hit the post, back to Pogba on the rebound, 1-0 Manchester United, and that was only after 15 minutes, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, shit, Manchester United are going to kick into gears, and this could be anything really. But as soon as Manchester United got that goal, they kind of sat off, and Arsenal defended reasonably well. Now, Manchester United, you look in terms of the stats, they had 17 shots, 3 on target. Arsenal had 8 shots, 3 on target. 60% of possession went to Manchester United. But, the stats, if you didn't see the game, the stats will tell you that Manchester United battered us. But they didn't. They didn't. We defended very, very well. We created a couple of decent moments, decent chances. United defensively made a couple of really stupid mistakes. The goal that we, scored, the equaliser that Mkhitaryan got, was purely down to Manchester United making a stupid defensive error, a lapse in concentration that resulted in Mkhitaryan running through and slotting it into the back of the net. But we defended well, and I keep saying, considering this was our second team, this wasn't our strongest side, and because of that, we played well, and a draw would have been absolutely superb, right? When you look at the Arsenal lineup, right? It was a player debut for Mavropanos. Oh, I'd never heard of him. I didn't even know we had a player called Mavropanos. I'm pretty sure lots of Arsenal fans out there were looking at the team sheet thinking, who the hell is that? Callum Chambers and Mavropanos look brilliant. Actually, they look better than Mustafi and Koscielny. Mustafi's made countless errors. He was at fault, and both, Mustafi and Koscielny were at fault for the Griezmann, goal that we conceded, the away goal, the crucial away goal that we conceded on Thursday night. These two looked very, very good. They silenced Manchester United, and also Manchester United weren't at full throttle today. Had they played to the standard that we know Manchester United can get to, it would have been a very, very different story. They were not at full throttle, but still, we defended against them reasonably well. It was a very, very even game, very interesting game, particularly in that first half. There was a lot of negativity towards the goal because the goal that we conceded was very, very avoidable. But minus that error, we played well. It was a decent game. We were showing fight, spirit, determination, and the team looked up for it really. And you have to give credit where credit's due. You know, I thought Maitland-Niles was absolutely, you know, terrific today. You know, there were moments where he made Nemanja Matic look like a fool. Reece Nelson had a couple of very, very good moments. Mavropanos played extremely well at the back. It was his, you know, Premier League debut at Old Trafford, the theatre of dreams. What a, you know, such an intimidating place to go and play your debut. And, you know, he did very, very well. Extremely well. You know, you'd say that the only player that made a real bad mistake today was Granit Xhaka. But Granit Xhaka made up for the mistake that he made in the first half by gifting Manchester United a goal with the equaliser. You know, he won the ball back. It was then slotted through. A, you know, mismatch of communication between Smalling and Lindelof allowed Henrik Mkhitaryan to run through, and they just allowed him. You know, Mkhitaryan ran through, no one caught up with him, no one catched him, and, you know, it was almost like Manchester United were saying, right, let's give him the chance, let's give him the ball, and he slotted it past De Gea. Really cute, really calm finish. Obviously, he didn't celebrate, and it was great to see Henrik Mkhitaryan come back to Manchester United as an Arsenal player and score a goal. It was absolutely brilliant. And from then on, you know, Manchester United in that second half did not register a single shot on target. You know, they had a couple of decent moments, they created a couple of decent opportunities, they got into some decent spaces, but they didn't really test David Ospina at all in that second half. You know, and even in the first half, apart from the goal that they apart from the goal that they scored, and I think, you know, Ashley Young hit the post, and Alexis Sanchez had a shot that went out. Ashley Young also had a shot that went, you know, far and wide in that second half. But they didn't do anything that caused us great problems. And there wasn't really, you know, many moments where I was like, you know, holding my breath and thinking, oh shit, a couple of hairy moments for Manchester United. But they weren't at full throttle, and we were defending against them reasonably well. And Jose Mourinho does what Jose Mourinho does best. He brings on Fellaini. He's a target man. Brings off Marcus Rashford because Romelu Lukaku goes off with an injury. And he also brings on Anthony Martial as well. And as for Arsenal, you know, Danny Welbeck comes on for Reece Nelson. Seth Glashnach had to go off because of an injury because of Nacho Monreal. Henrik Mkhitaryan also came off for Joe Willock, who I have to say I did thought was Eddie Nikita. I got really, really confused, so I do apologise to that. So, you know, both sides have made all three substitutions, you know, and it was defensively from, you know, both sides, they were closing, you know, us down. We didn't really, you know, cause David De Gea too many problems. There was a moment where Danny Welbeck broke through, but Chris Smalling got his leg out right at the end. But it was a very cagey and very close affair. Until the 91st minute. Now, just before that, there was a warning sign of Manchester United scoring a goal, a ball that had came in from Nemanja Matic, and I think it was Marcus Rashford, no, it was Fellaini winning the header, and it went over to Marcus Rashford, but he was offside, so the goal wasn't given. But then 2 minutes later, the same thing happens again, and Fellaini, because he, you know, is the strength that Fellaini possesses is that he can just jump up and header a ball into the back of the net. And, you know, Jose Mourinho loves those type plays. He always has it, that kind of player that can, you know, be that aerial threat that can come on. And Arsenal are not really good at defending anyway, so defending someone with aerial presence is always, you know, it never normally goes well for us. And, you know, ball goes in, he whips the head up and, you know, gets past Ospina, and Ospina should have saved it. I really do think, looking at that goal, David Ospina really should have saved that chance. But Fellaini scores, and then Manchester United just steal the game out. But they didn't deserve it. They did not deserve the win. United was so lucky. This should have been a point. I'm not saying Arsenal should have won the game, but I don't think Manchester United should have won the game either, because they weren't at full throttle. They were up against an inexperienced, youthful Arsenal side, and, you know, they performed this Arsenal side. We should have got our point. We should have had Arsene Wenger's final game at Old Trafford with a point. And it just shows, you know, this is why Arsene Wenger is leaving now, because Arsenal just don't get results away from home. And against Manchester United, you know, even when we play well, we still end up losing, just like we did at the Emirates in, you know, December. Absolutely battered Manchester United from minute 1 to minute 90, and we still lose 3-1. I'm not saying we battered Manchester United today, but we defended reasonably well. You know, we were in the game for the whole 90 minutes, despite making a couple of defensive errors here and there. And we should have got our point. We really should have got our point. And it's just, it's the story of our season. You know, away from home, things are just not going our way. And normally it's because we just don't turn up. Today we turned up with an inexperienced side and just were unlucky by not managing to hold on to a point. And it's just typical, really. and that is why Arsene Wenger is where he is, because he can't hold on and get a result. So, you know, we have to just write this game off. We can, you know, secure 6th place against Burnley next weekend, but we have to turn our attention now to the game against Atletico Madrid. Only a couple of players that featured today will play on Thursday night. We've got 3 or 4 days to really kind of get on the training ground, you know, perfect our passing play, get those crosses in, work on trying to be more clinical, because that's an area that we need to work on, and defensively making sure that we do not concede any stupid goals at Atletico Madrid. And if we can do that, we've got a chance of getting into the Europa League final. And that is where I'm going to rejoin you next for analysing Arsenal. Just as for today, so unlucky. Really sad that Arsene Wenger is finishing his Arsenal career with yet another Manchester United defeat. It's just not been a happy hunting ground whatsoever. You know, fair play to Manchester United. You didn't deserve a win, but you got the win nonetheless. GG, and we turn our attention to the Europa League semi-final second leg on Thursday. So, thank you so much. Please make sure to leave a like on the video if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Check out my regular content as well. Follow me on Twitter at GGBagpuss1998. And as I said, I'll rejoin you on Thursday night for the Europa League second leg semi-final as we travel to Atletico Madrid, knowing that we have to score. If we fail to score, our season will be officially over as we get knocked out of the Europa League at the final hurdle. So I'll rejoin you for that one as well. Take care, and I shall see you all soon.